cooking with legs. You ever look at something like this, or like an oyster, go, how desperate were you to figure out how to eat this thing? I mean, the only part that's really edible is when you get down to the heart of it. So you got to tear all of this thing apart. And, the inside of the stem is edible, and the base inside is edible. But you got to, when the flower is just a big purple thing, or an oyster, it's just a rock, and you cracked it open and said, "This is some good snot." In any event, either way, stuffed artichokes New Orleans style. I love these things. I remember as a kid going to the grocery with mom, and they'd have them up at a deli. We just stand in line to get the ham, and I'm just staring at her, hoping she puts one in her basket, because if she did, I knew it was going to be a good night. Love these things. Easy to make, time consuming, but easy. Like, I'm going to start with the stuffing before we prep this because I have everything cut already. So let's just start with the stuffing real quick. Really simple to do. It's one of those times that you do want to make sure you use good olive oil because it is a centerpiece to it. So let's see. All right, so we got inside the bucket. I'm going to put some panko. Look, there's just a amount of panko left. Italian breadcrumbs. Put some garlic, finely diced, or chopped, or minced, or whatever the word you want to use for it. Some basil, along with some fresh parsley. From here, we're just going to put some olive oil in it and stir it up. Along with, equal parts breadcrumbs to Parmesan cheese. All right. Put some olive oil in there and stir it up. So now we have all that in there. We're just going to put in some good olive oil. Like I said, you don't want to skimp here because this is most of the dish. It's the artichoke, what you saw, and then olive oil is kind of a big centerpiece on it. You don't want it to be soaking wet. You want it to be, I guess, like wet sand, I guess would be the way to put it. You want it to fall into the artichoke gaps, but it's going to moisten up when it's being cooked, which is steam and condensation or whatnot. So you want to let that happen. This to the side, and we get started working on the actual choky part. So you want to make a flat bottom with these because you're going to want it to sit in the pot upright. Just cut that off. If you look right there, inside, if you peel all of this, and that inside part's really good to eat. In fact, I usually, when I put mine in the oven later, I'm going to probably drop this in there with it. So take off just the outer layer. And this one's actually, this artichoke here, normally sometimes these bottom ones are almost dead looking. These look really good, so I'm going to keep them on there. Which one do you want to have it where, try and get it where it'll sit upright on its own. So, just like that. That way when I go to, I'm going to put these in the pot later in a few minutes to steam or to braise, if you will, and get tender. I want to have it sit upright when I do that. So when it comes out, I can just open it up. Maybe you can also cut the top off. People said use a serrated knife for that. I don't know. Feel it a little bit. You want to get to that purple part in the middle, that choke part. You got to kind of hollow that out. If you can't do it now, sometimes it's easier to do it after it braises. I like to try and get it out the way first, just to get that. Don't have that in there. That's the numbloom flour. You see, twisting it like this. I'm using this part of my hand on either side to manipulate it and let it open some more. Sometimes these are easy, sometimes these are a pain in the butt. There we go. And just rub that with a lemon. That'll stop it from oxidizing and getting really nasty, brown, black looking. It'll open up easier. Alright, so let's get to the other one. I'll get the other one and we'll be back after that. I've got 4 cups of water in there. I'm going to add some olive oil as well as some lemon. Like I said, you want them sitting upright. See, that's why we made sure we had the flat bottom. So they're just going to sit there. They're going to get kind of braised and get tender. When they get tender, we're going to pull them out and stuff them and then put them in the oven. So we got these out of the braising water, and we're going to go and stuff them. What I do is, we already opened up a little before we braise them to make this part easier. Just want to open it up a little bit more. You can kind of see, I put this in the middle of the bowl with all the stuffing around, just pile it in on top, take it out, open it up and let all of the stuffing fall in between the leaves. Want something to kind of be in between every one of them. So I set this on the side and we're going to start stuffing the other one. And we took the liquid out from before. I left the lemon in there, and I added just a little bit more liquid, but mostly more olive oil. So you just want a little bit of liquid at the bottom. You don't want it to cover up the artichoke. Come out the oven, or the Dutch oven, or whatever you used. They're going to basically kind of look like this. I went ahead and just garnish it with just a little bit of a little more parsley, and then some more good olive oil. Not a whole lot, just a little bit over the top. That's pretty much all it's involved.